Natasha.
And Khalil.
We are the co-hosts of WokeNFree. Thank you for tuning in to our 69th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything that's important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. In this episode, we're talking all about whether New Year's resolutions are a good thing. But before we dive deep into that subject, we have a couple of questions to ask you. First, have you subscribed to WokeNFree on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio? Like so many different places that our show is. In fact, we're in over 22 different platforms. So if you're like, well, where's that, Natasha? Go to WokeNFree.com and you'll be able to subscribe away. Next, have you shared an episode with friends or family? If not, guys, this is the holiday season. Sharing is caring. So please share from wherever you're listening to the show, and we greatly appreciate your support. Next, if you're curious to talk to us on social media, always feel free to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at WokeNFree. And then lastly, if you actually want to review the show and give us your feedback, we greatly appreciate your support and your time and attention to this. So you can feel free to review the show on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, or any of the other platforms we're on. Again, just pick your platform of choice on WokeNFree.com.
Each week we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the episode. Last week, we shared, when it comes to musical prowess, would you prefer an amazing voice or the ability to play any instrument? This week, we're sharing, what toppings would you like on your favorite pizza?
All right, guys, so food is definitely a question that I love to discuss. Khalil, what do you actually like to call me?
Oh, you're the food master.
Yeah, I think that's an alternative name for something else.
Oh, food whisperer. Yeah,
but
that's the only other.
Okay, so what do I need on my pizza? I need some Parmesan cheese, I need some mushrooms, onions, sausage, or pepperoni. Depends on the day. And we top it off with some red chili peppers. And you?
Mine's similar, but it's more inclusive. There's no ors. It's sausage, mushrooms, onions, pepperoni, green peppers, meatballs, red chili peppers, and Parmesan cheese. And I also forgot to add probably oregano. And then we're good to go.
Indeed.
That's the toppings I like.
Yes. Great minds think alike. And with that, I'm excited for us to start talking about the topic for today, which is New Year's resolution. So first out of the gate, what do you want to talk about with that?
Let's start with probably the history of New Year's resolution. Can you explain where that came about or how it came about?
Yes, history.com actually has quite an elaborate detailing of it. So they talk about the fact that the ancient Babylonians are said to have been the first people to make New Year's resolutions some 4,000 years ago. They were also the first to hold recorded celebrations in honor of the new year, though for them the year began not in January but in mid-March when the crops were planted. And during a massive 12-day religious festival known as Akitu, the Babylonians crowned a new king or reaffirmed their loyalty to the reigning king. They also made promises to the gods to pay their debts and return any objects that they had borrowed. And these promises could be considered the forerunners of our New Year's resolutions. And if the Babylonians kept to their word, their pagan gods would bestow favor on them for the coming year. And if not, they would fall out of the gods' favor, a place no one wanted to be. And then there's also, the history.com goes on to talk about how there was a similar practice in ancient Rome after the reform-minded Emperor Julius Caesar tinkered with the calendar and established January 1 as the beginning of the new year, circa 46 BC, named for Janus, the two-faced god whose spirit inhabited doorways and arches. January had special significance for the Romans, believing that Janus symbolically looked backwards into the previous year and ahead into the future. The Romans offered sacrifices to the deity and made promises of good conduct for the coming year. Then for early Christians, I know guys, it's a lot. Bear with me. Bear with me. The first day of the new year became the traditional occasion for thinking about one's past mistakes and resolving to do and be better in the future. So in 1740, the English clergyman John Wesley, founder of Methodism, created the Covenant Renewal Service, mostly commonly held on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, also known as watch night services. They included readings from scriptures and hymn singing and served as a spiritual alternative to the ruckus celebrations normally held to celebrate the coming of the new year. Now popular within evangelical Protestant churches, especially with African-American dominations and congregations, watch night services held on New Year's Eve are often spent praying and making resolutions for the coming year. So that's a lot. Where can you find that? Go to WokeNFree.com and you can click on the link and read more about the history. How about you? What did you discover?
I saw a lot of the same stuff about these people throughout history making these goals that if they didn't achieve it, it seemed like there'd be some bad outcomes.
True.
Like, they had to do these resolutions and sacrifices because that would help them with their crops in their mind or help them receive praise by their gods. But it's funny, if you think about today, I found this information that about, on average, 45% of Americans, only 45% of Americans actually make resolutions for the new year. So it's kind of, I think it's like dropped off throughout history. I don't know if it's as like prominent as it used to be.
Well, I think contextually, right? Like back in the day, people were doing it because they wanted their crops to grow. It was really attached to survival versus now, I think New Year's resolutions are like goal-setting goals. I think that whether you set them or not, you're most likely to survive if that's your, if that's your fate.
Isn't that
but
so interesting?
Now
it's evolved.
Yeah, it's more like, what do you want to? It's more conscientious, like framing of your life as opposed to like, oh man, I need to make this so I can live, which it's interesting. And also so many people are dismayed by it because they fall off. They say, I'm about to lose 10 pounds. I'm about to make $1 million. And then here we are in March and they're like, listen, I was joking, guys. Like, so, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Why do you think people currently want to make New Year's resolutions, since we did just talk about the past?
Well, yeah, it's really about goals. They want to achieve something, so they feel, it's a new year, it's a new start. What now time better than ever to make a goal that I can probably achieve? But it's very just kind of open like that. They'll make a big open goal. And so one of the most common resolutions actually is to increase the amount of exercise that one gets. And 37% of people actually make that resolution. And later on we'll talk, or I found some more information on Tipsy Writer about how many people actually achieve that goal. So that's what I think's the interesting thing.
Yeah, I think, I agree with you. I think there's a couple of reasons. First, there's a historical context for us as people. So I think that, tradition does pass along. And I think that people look at the new year and they see new opportunity. It's a new, it's a new fresh start. So anything in the past is kind of ancient history and now we can move forward. It's a goal-setting tool, right? If you're starting a new year, then it seems logical to set your intention for the new year. And then, I think there are people who are struggling with either weight loss or wanting more money, wanting more wealth, wanting more happiness, whatever they want, and looking at the new year as an opportunity to tackle on these goals. And then, of course, we constantly are inundated with this conversation in media, which, as we've talked about endlessly, continues to have an actual impact in our lives.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think are the issues that come along with making New Year's resolutions?
According to Tipsy Writer, they actually had like a list of 10 facts about New Year's, and of the two of them, I found that they said, unfortunately, actually 22% of resolutions fail after about a week, and then 40% after a month, and 50% after 3 months, and then 60% after 6 months. So, most people actually don't meet those resolutions. 60% failure. And then that's after 6 months. I don't know what happens afterwards if it goes up, but if it goes up to 80, you know that there's something up with these New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And then of those actually achieving their resolutions, about 40% were successful on their first try. The rest took multiple attempts, with as much as 17% taking over 6 tries to achieve their resolution. Now, I don't know if they mean like 6 years of the resolution. I'm not sure, but
they might have been tries within the year, or alternatively
I'm not sure.
Trying it
imagine
for multiple years.
If that's over 6 years, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I mean that's like, wow, really? So you had to keep making this resolution, and you keep failing. I mean, they say that though, right? You gotta, if you fail once, try again. I guess that's one saying. So people are sticking to that. But I think that's a big issue, is that people are making resolutions, but they're not actually sticking to it.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I mean, we can talk about why it happens, but what did you, what issues did you find with New Year's resolutions?
I mean, I think it's the similar sentiment to what you're saying, is that ultimately people are likely to fall off. And there's several reasons. Like, you can definitely look up articles as to why people fall off. A, they set their goals to be too lofty. Like, I want to lose 100 pounds in 2 days. Like, no, not physically possible. They also set goals and they don't have a support system. Say you want to stop drinking and everyone in your life is a functioning alcoholic. Likely, if you stop drinking, is not going to happen. Also, there's, like, I think reasons of, like, not necessarily putting an action plan in place. Again, if you want to make $1 million but you don't know how, are you going to make the $1 million? Right? So there's lots of reasons why it's not happening.
I think a big reason.
Yeah.
Planning.
So yeah, I just think that the problem with New Year's, if you want to have a problem with this, is that people fall off and then it makes you feel bad. It makes you kind of shame yourself for not accomplishing these goals. Even if you didn't set yourself up for success, nonetheless, we as people are constantly obsessed with negativity. So we're going to focus on the negative instead of seeing why the negative happened, right? And maybe it's not a negative. Maybe it wasn't for you at this moment. But in addition to the feeling and getting in their feelings about this, they can also start to get angry. And then you could actually turn the year into a bad situation. Maybe you go on a drinking binge. Maybe you have more issues because you're so frustrated with the fact that the year isn't going as planned. So there are, I think, those are some of the consequences of going through and not necessarily having these New Year's resolutions happen.
All right. Well, what are New Year's resolutions that everybody should make?
So I have a lot, actually. I think I mean, I can only speak for myself or the experiences I've had with, like, my clients or people in my life. And so number one with a bullet is prioritizing your health. If you follow me on dressinghermate.com, my coaching and consulting business, I acknowledge to the world that I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism this May, and it, like, you know, it was both a blessing and a curse because it helped provide a bit more context for some of the health issues that I deal with, but it also was a wake-up call, like, get your in order and start living life with health on your mind every single day, because if you're not here to live your life, then it doesn't matter what goals and things that you're trying to achieve. So every year you should pray and put into practice some type of action plan where you're prioritizing your health every single day. Also, the power of no. I'm a big affirmative believer in saying no. Say no to things you don't want. Say no to people you don't want to be around. So no. Also, stop limiting yourself. I think the biggest thing I see with the work that I do with my clients and also the people that I coach is that people refuse to look at as obstacles and challenges as good things, right? Instead, they see them as limiting factors. I can only do this. I only have enough time. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and an opportunity for you to win and surpass. So I think that's something you can set for yourself no matter who you are. Also, spend time with those you want to in this life. Life is short. You know, we're in the holiday season, and now more than ever, people like to say, oh, family and friends. But guys, like, family and friends matter if they matter to you, they matter all year long. So make sure that you're really setting a tone and some type of plan to spend time with those you love. Be intentional with what you say, what you do, where you go, who you spend time with. I think that's a great resolution to have every year. Also, give back. To give is to receive. In this world, we spend a lot of time about what I want, what do I want, but what are you giving, right? You can only expect what you give out. So if you're not giving to charities, if you're not trying to develop the youth and put goodness in the world, how can you ever expect that in your life? That's super selfish and super silly. Check in with yourself, whether it's your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health. Check in with you, because we spend a lot of time checking in with others. Got to check in with you first, right? And then last couple ones is be hungry, guys. Like, you know, for us, we're entrepreneurs and we're people who are creative and dedicated to kind of being change agents. But what do you want in this world? And whatever you want, be hungry for it. Stop acting like you don't know something, so I don't know how to move forward. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Get with it. And then also, I took this actually from Jada, from her holiday special, from the Red Table. Shout out to the Red Table. love yourself deeply and more each and every year. I think that's a phenomenal resolution. So what do you have to add to that?
That was an extensive list. I think this is probably why people don't achieve their New Year's resolutions.
Well, they're very, I mean, these are like, this isn't a destination, this is a journey. Yeah. All I talked about are things on the journey for every year.
Because you have a list this big, I mean, you got a Bible of things to read to try to remember every day. I mean, that's kind of tough.
Yes,
but
the Bible of life.
Yeah, that's what I would say. This is like the Quran on what to do in the world. Like, it's a serious...
I take that as an honor. Thank you.
You made this holy text of things to read.
Yes.
It's interesting.
My husband said the holy text. I love this.
It's so holy.
I love this.
So holy. I would say the only thing I'd really add, and I guess you didn't... I mean, you kind of mentioned it with, like, the check-in with yourself, is I would say make sure to make time for you and have fun, because I don't think life should just be all just...
productivity, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta have fun in life. Do things that you love. It doesn't always have to be about, oh, I'm gonna have to do something for somebody else, or I gotta work really hard through this, and I gotta struggle. You can sometimes have fun. You can do things that are fun, and make sure you do them.
What do you love, Khalil?
I love the sunlight. I take in the vitamin D, and it's almost like Superman, you know, when he gets that power, he becomes super strong.
Lies and fairy tales for WokeNFree.
That's what's crazy about me. My fun only comes down to sunlight. Environment.
I have something else in mind, but this is a family program.
Yeah. Oh, because Superman is really strong. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's easy, so strong. It's pretty crazy.
You could be called Superman. Yep.
All right, you can't say that.
Do you think New Year's resolutions overall are a good thing? And if so, what are you setting for the new year in 2019?
Overall, I don't know if it's actually a good thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the thing is, it just seems like people do it for fun. It's not really... It's not something serious. They don't, because most people aren't even achieving it. It's just like, I might. So you can make a New Year's resolution, or you could just actually make goals that you're going to achieve. And you don't have to do it around the holiday. You don't have to do it at the end of the year. You can set these goals anytime. So, I mean, I don't think they're a big deal, to be honest. But if I'm going to make some for 2019, mine would definitely, well, you listed it on your list of
my holy
things.
text of life.
You listed almost everything. But definitely I would like to give more. That's on my list. I like to start some projects that I've had in my mind, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then complete other projects that I have in mind.
So productivity and giving back to the world.
But even those things, they're already, I mean, I could call them a resolution, but I already had that in my mind in the middle of the year. So that's what I'm saying. The New Year's resolution is all in name. Well, actually, these goals were made throughout the year. I already knew that I was going to do this, and it wasn't necessarily just for next year.
Not
it was
just for Janice.
It was more of just like planning. I was planning to make it. I mean, it didn't have to really do with the new year coming. It was just, that's just the time that it's going to take place, but it wasn't specific for a New Year's resolution.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing about New Year's resolution, I think it's, again, intention and context is everything, guys. So if you're struggling with New Year's resolutions, or you're like, F it, I'm F the establishment, I'm not doing it, guys, just roll it back. New Year's resolution equals goal setting. That's what it really is. It's goal setting, and you're just starting the goal setting with maybe a 12-month term in your mind, right? But you can goal set for what? For 3 months, for 6 months, for 12 months, for a day, for a week, however you want to set your goals. So New Year's resolutions are goal setting. Should we as people goal set? Yes. You need to set goals for yourself. Now, do you need to do it on January 1st? No. Like you said, you can do them throughout the year and work on them. But if you so happen to be inclined to say, it's New Year's, I'm starting new goals, cool for you. Like, get your life and get started. For me... Not expecting that.
Yeah, no, I just thought this was a rap song, so
exactly.
I had to throw
shout out to Cardi B.
You know, she didn't. I don't know if she originated.
No, but she does that funny.
She takes it. Yeah, I don't know if she originated that.
Well, I think that's from trap. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think that's from trap music, but I don't know who originated it. I think she just took it as her thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, actually.
I adore her funniness, so. But my goal setting, y'all, for 2019, again, here's my second biblical list.
The list goes on.
Yes, the list always goes on. Virgo Nation, guys. WokeNFree. Lots of plans. Y'all need to stay tuned on WokeNFree.com if y'all want to know what's coming. Dressing Room 8. Same thing. If you follow me there, dressingroom8.com to see what's coming. In life, FYI, guys, it's important just to do, not to talk about it. So just do. So just do, and y'all shall see. Personally, I want health, wealth, and happiness. That's what I want every year. Spiritually, I want to deepen my relationship with God and the universe and just being able to be a light and inspiration for others near and far. That is something that was put into my spirit as a child, and it's something that I just want to continue to grow and be committed to more so than ever. Physically, if y'all been following WokeNFree on Instagram, you see your girl struggling in these streets, running and all sorts of craziness, and well, mostly dancing in front of a mirror. But
nice.
The point is, I've worked out, and so that's my happy dance after that I share. Nice. Yes. So, continuing to dance happily in the gym and work this behind. You know, I gotta work on my health goals, guys. I gotta deal with it. So, doing that, and then essentially just living my best life. You know, as a change agent, my purpose is to change the world, to change myself, and bring anyone along on this journey that I can. So that's my resolutions for 2019 and the next 85 years that I live. I mean,
wow.
You know,
that's a lot of stuff.
Indeed.
So you agree with the New Year's resolution being a good thing?
I think it's goal setting, right? How I would put it is it's just goal setting. And so if you want to start yours on January 1st because you didn't feel like setting it earlier, then go ahead with your bad self. But like you said, these goals I'm currently working on right now, so they're just flowing into the next year.
That's how it should be, yeah.
They're just flowing through.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time. Scenario 1. Hinako has been struggling to take her health seriously. She pledged herself to not worry about watching her health until the beginning of next year for her New Year's resolution. There's about 1 month left until the new year begins. Should she wait to start a plan since the year is almost over?
No, she should go to Crackle Barrel and eat everything that's filled with butter and cheese.
No Cold Stone for her then, since you go Crackle Barrel.
I'm kidding. No, guys, as someone who's currently dealing with health conditions, and again, everyone's health conditions are worse and better and whatever, I just think that, you know, I think with health, we put things off and it puts us in a worse situation. So if she has health issues and she needs to work on them, there's no better time than now. So get started. And again, you don't have to go 0 to 100. She can start slowly, but as they say, 1% of change after 30 days is what? 30% of change. So start smally and get it going. So that way she's proud of herself for the month work that she put into doing now before starting the new year. How about you?
There's no better time than the present.
Hey.
Right? That's what they say. Another saying. So
word.
Definitely just start now, because then the next year can come and you just say, you know what? It's too much. I'll just start it next year. You can keep like procrastinating. It just seems like a procrastination syndrome to be like, I'll just wait until this time to start. No, you need to start now. You know, there's no better time.
Yep, exactly.
Just get right to it, or you're just going to keep pushing it back and back and back. So, nope, better start now.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 2. Kanoko has the lofty resolution of becoming the world's greatest philanthropist known all over. Is this an actual New Year's resolution, or is Kanoko destined to failure?
First of all, shame on you. What are you... What? Kanoko?
Yeah.
Is he a Japanese piano?
That's a female, actually.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
That's female. Why'd you play her like that? Kanoko's a nice young lady.
She's a nice young lady.
Yeah.
I swear to God, on the inside, you're like 87. Youngins.
How could you say that?
Youngins.
Because you know Kanoko's listening right now, and she's shaking her head. She's like, wow, I'm in a scenario.
Kanoko, you're welcome to comment and call me a biatch then.
Come on now.
I won't hold it against you, boo. Okay, Kanoko.
Yeah.
So if you want to be the world's greatest philanthropist, I think that that's really a noble goal, and that's, you know, something that probably Oprah would tip her hat to. So I think that she should work towards it. I think that she's going to need to provide a bit more context for herself. What does that mean? Is it in the amount of work that the amount that she gives back? Is it the span? Like, does she help more people across the different countries. She's going to have to give herself context for her to give herself that title, because again, I think that's a self goal that she's setting, but I don't think that she would be a failure. I think she destined to fail. I think that that's noble, but she has to just give herself some type of action plan to actually make that happen. And you?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the planning. That's what I say the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
So if Kanoko doesn't have a plan in place, then I think this could not be achievable. Like, you really do need to know what you want to do and make a plan on how you're going to do it. Or else, how would you... Like, I don't know. It's so, like, open-ended. It seems like it's such a lofty goal. You can just not do it. You could make no steps towards it because you don't even know what steps to make. You're just like, I want to be the greatest. Okay, what does that really entail?
Yeah.
So she needs to really think about that and what she's going to do to get there and how she wants to do it, whether it's in terms of money or length of time or however she wants to be a philanthropist. So, yeah, make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 3. Haruto is great at achieving things he set his mind to. He was thinking of making a resolution to read more. Will Haruto achieve this goal since he is successful at everything?
No more animes for you, Khalil. You're talking too much crap right now.
Oh, crap. Are you going to say that about the most popular name in a country?
Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive my ignorance.
There's a lot of Harutos world over.
But you watch too many animes. That's why you know that, though.
You're saying that this is not an anime thing. This is definitely a popular name thing.
I swear to God, I saw that on an anime, Khalil.
It sounds like an anime, but it's not. Animes they'll take popular names that we probably don't even know about. That's the thing. Because we're so Americanized. We don't know about... We need to be cultured, and this is what WokeNFree is about. Becoming cultured.
My husband caught me, y'all. That's shameful. That's shameful.
Yeah, you didn't know there's more names than Joe, Dick, Tom, and Harry.
You said Joe, Dick, Tom, and Harry.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
There's a lot more names than that.
Yes, like Janice, Jolene, and
Sally.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
But we digress, guys. Haruto, he can achieve this goal if he puts a proper plan in place. So if y'all will see, I'm going to put out some content about my reading regimen because I want to inspire people to read. Stay tuned on dressingroom8.com if you want to see that. But what he's going to have to do is just set a number, right? So what does read more really mean? That's not a goal. That's an ambition, right?
Yeah,
so what is the goal?
much.
Is it to read 10 books a year? Is it to read 50 books a year? Is it to read 150 books? Pick a number, then pick an action plan to do that. So if his goal is to read 50 books a year, 12 into 50 goes how many times? That's how many books you need to read per month for you to achieve that goal. So that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, you're right. It comes down to setting a number. That's very important, and it's good to say monthly. You could do weekly, but since he wants to just read more in generally, just start monthly on a goal of how many books you want to read. And then second thing is I'd say try to learn your pace. So if you have a Kindle, that's pretty good because it actually tells you when you're going to finish this book. It can tell you your pace. So that's a shout out to Amazon. They got a great e-reader.
Hey,
the Kindle, it's like number one, but it does have nifty features like that. I mean, they're great. The Kindles are great. They do a lot more, but it'll let you know what your pace is. So he'll know his pace, he'll know his number, then he'll know if he can achieve it and what it takes to achieve it, how much time he has to set aside just to do this new reading.
That's a great point, guys.
So that's what you gotta go
real
for.
Tactical planning tips right there. Also, as someone who has improved her reading through law school, and short of you not wanting to go to law school to be a faster reader, I would suggest setting deadlines, like hardcore deadlines. So like I was telling Khalil the other day, I try to read like 1 to 2 books a weekend. Am I successful every month? No. But on average, I would say I read about 2 to 4 books a month. And sometimes a little bit more. I sneak in some comic books. That's how I get my numbers up, guys. But ultimately, what I do with myself is I just get really kind of non-negotiable about saying, okay, I need to read 100 pages in the next hour. And you do it, right? Because I work well under pressure. And I think most people want to achieve a goal. So when you have a goal that's really stringent like that, you try to achieve it. And you don't, laddy-dag and kind of, I have time. No, you have an hour to read 100 pages. Get to it, boo. So that's a tip.
All right.
We are at the time again. It's the coming of the end of our 69th episode of WokeNFree. Complete disaster. This was quite the episode talking about whether New Year's resolutions are a good thing. Khalil feels one way. I feel a different way. If you guys are catching this at the tail end, y'all know you need to rewind and go through this whole party again and understand how we feel and get some context on this whole subject. And I always ask, but will I leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about?
On our next episode, we'll be talking about whether is God real? Guys, make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week because you know you want to hear this conversation on WokeNFree Wednesday. And then you can also join the conversation at WokeNFree.com. Feel free to leave your comments. We are looking at them and we will bring them up.
Yes, guys, if you want your voice to be heard in our episodes, that's where you have to comment on the episodes you're listening to, share your thoughts, reach out to us on social media. We want you to be in the conversation and as woke and free as possible. Now, we are going to be talking about God. You're welcome to come for us if you need to. That, I understand, is a touchy subject. I'm a little bit nervous, actually, to see how this goes. But for all of the Woke and Free Nation that support us and have been following along, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. And for any of you newcomers, y'all are going to get hooked because next episode will be lit. And if you want to be a guest on an upcoming episode, please submit a topic for an upcoming episode that you want to be on. Share how you feel about any of the things we've talked about in the past on our Contact Us page. So that's at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. And I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. If something just kind of moves your spirit and you want to hit us up on social media, you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, even YouTube at Woke and Free.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Happy holidays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Until next time.